we'll give you 2,000 now, and 15 when we reach Alderaan.
No, I said I want 10,000 now.
Ah. How about 2,000 now, and 15 when we reach Alderaan?
No, old man, you're not listening. I want 10,000 now.
Ah. I don't have that sort of cash just lying around. Luke, check your pockets. Sell that awful speeder of yours, and let's do this. Ben, what do you think? Ben?
Ben?
I ain't got nothing but love, babe. 8 days a geek.
Hello and welcome to 8 Days a Geek with me, Christopher Weeks, and...
AJ Jenks.
And... Oh. Where's Ben?
He's not here.
Okay, so we're missing Ben Pryer. Some would say that that's an improvement.
Oh.
Do leave us a comment if you think so.
Please.
Unfortunately, Ben is actually pretty unwell. He's had a horrible strain of the flu. So AJ and I are currently in our dressing room at the lovely Regent Theatre in Stoke, and Ben is down in Crawley, where he's from. He's not even here to contradict me. I love it.
No.
He's down there in bed trying to get better. So hi, Ben. Hi. Hope you're okay.
You're definitely going to be listening to this in bed. Sad that you're not here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know what, Ben? You know what? I'm not. You know,
Yeah, good.
I was
well
gonna,
done.
I was going
can
to go.
see it on your lips.
I was going to
and
go.
you decided not to do it. I'm delighted.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. Everyone knows what I was going to say.
But look, we were in the middle of the Fellowship of the Ring last time. Ben was here. Ben is
really
gone.
Emotional then.
It's quite emotional because obviously that is on hiatus.
Yeah.
Until Ben returns. And so AJ and I are going to take a stab at something else. Something very exciting. Something very close to our hearts. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Or just Star Wars when it came out. This is a really budget production. AJ had his birthday just
We're not
yesterday.
paying the copyrights on this.
Absolutely. Oh no, can we turn it off? No, stop it! Oh God! Burst it!
I'm not going to burst it.
Okay, fine. Just let it go, it'll be fine. They'll never know. Okay,
good.
right. Clever. They haven't paid the copyright either.
Yeah,
so it was AJ's birthday yesterday, and he, as one of his gifts, was delivered a Star Wars balloon, which when you hit it, plays the theme to Star Wars.
It's one of the best presents I've ever had, and I thank the real Joanne Clifton for present. She smashed it and she bought me.
Is that our first shout out of the day?
That is our first shout out.
That's
of the
a
day.
good one as well.
She's also bought me quite a few. She bought me a Star Trek t-shirt. Sorry, is this just me rambling on?
I mean, you want to talk about my gifts as well, or what?
Oh yeah, I will talk about your gifts as well.
well.
In fact, right,
You're
I was
gonna
going to say, in
Right.
fact, you can have a look.
So you have to really peer into their speakers.
So what we got? We've got a Mandalorian poster, but
Yeah.
it's Baby Yoda.
Baby Yodes.
We've got Star Wars Aftermath, the 3 books.
Yes.
And then we've got a little pop doll, which is Gandalf.
Gandalf in combat. He's got his staff and he's got Glamdring drawn.
Yeah.
So actually, that's shortly before where we left it with Fellowship of the Ring.
It is indeed, yeah.
But the first thing that occurs to me, right? You've just got out those gifts.
Yeah.
One's from The Mandalorian. One is a book series set after Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
How many years are we down the line? 1977? What's the year now? Who even knows? With millions of years down the line, the Star Wars universe is colossal, and this is where it started.
It's still going, and this film did it. This film invented... it did change pop culture, really.
Oh, completely. Changed cinema, changed culture. It's just an amazing thing. So where do we start?
Well, I suppose that we have to start... I imagine... You've seen Empire of Dreams, right?
Yeah. Excellent stuff. That's a Sprite you got there, is it?
Sprite.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor.
If only.
Well, Empire of Dreams tells... do you know what? Just don't listen to this podcast. Just watch Empire of Dreams. That tells everything.
You see, Ben goes away.
Yeah, I know. George Lucas.
Yeah. So Lucas has gotten a lot of flack over the years because of the prequels. I really enjoyed the prequels. I could see the flaws with them.
I can see the flaws, but at the end of the day, there's an amazing story there.
I was... when did Phantom Menace come out? 99. I was 9 years old when that came out. Work out when my date of birth is.
I was 4.
Yeah. God, that's awful. But yeah, I was 9 years... I was the perfect age to see the Phantom Menace. And I thought it was just great.
Yeah.
Looking back now at Jar Jar and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, fine. Yes.
It is understandable.
It is, and there's issues in there which you cannot deny. And once you got around to Attack of the Clones, I was a little bit older. When was that? 2002. So I was 12, and I was more aware of pacing and scripts and
Attack
acting.
of the Clones was. I mean, at least you had what? You had the pod race. You had the Duel of Fates.
The Duel of the Fates is the one of the. Is it the best moment of Star Wars?
Oh, I don't know.
Across all, I mean, it's big talk.
I change every 5 seconds. I mean, that moment at the end of Rogue One.
Yeah.
Rogue
One as well. What a great film.
At one point was for me the best moment in Star Wars.
Really?
Because I just loved
You mean
it.
the Darth Vader moment?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just the silence and then just the lightsaber lighting up.
That was perfect, and that was a late edition. We'll have to talk about Rogue One at some point.
Rogue One will come up, but we are here to speak about A New Hope.
It's difficult when you talk about this massive world to focus in, but let's do it. So 1977, A New Hope, or as it's known at the time, Star Wars, because George Lucas thought he wanted to do a trilogy, and then 6, and then 9, and then etc. back and forth. I think he'd got them planned out, but his early plans were very different for Star Wars.
Well, yeah. So he had the character Luke Starkiller.
Yeah, of course.
Which eventually turned into Luke Skywalker, but Starkiller does come.
He does
as an actual character.
Yeah, later on.
That, comes it with. Let's not. Okay, so let's not
it's
get
difficult,
into
isn't it?
but yeah. So we have. I mean, just the way this film opens up with the crawl.
Yeah.
The first moment you ever see that crawl.
Yeah.
And you're kind of opened into. I mean, if we're talking about A New Hope, we just got to talk about that Star Destroyer.
Yeah. Going for the 10T4. Or 10T5. 10T5.
And just that opening of just...
The blockade runner.
Seeing the blockade runner, which is, you think it's quite a big ship. And then the non-stop...
monstrous thing.
Roll of that ship. It just keeps going. And then you see the back of it, the engines. You're just like, Jesus!
Yeah. Yeah, it's a whole world. We talked about, actually, in the Lord of the Rings podcast, a little bit, the... feel of the world, the real sort of feel of Star Wars, where you can sort of see the nuts and the bolts.
Yeah.
And it's the same in the Lord of the Rings world.
Yeah.
And obviously Star Wars came, 30 years before, so it's completely the originator of that. But at the time, things like Star Trek and I don't know what else.
Well, I suppose Star Trek and Doctor Who were.
Doctor Who, Yeah. Was there anything
thing.
else? Stargate, was that around? Is that later?
Yeah, Stargate
Is that later?
Yeah.
But yeah, so probably Star Trek is the biggest worldwide, because Doctor Who wasn't very big except in the UK.
Yeah.
It was very smooth, very silky. You couldn't see the workings, you could just see the big sci-fi elements,
Yeah.
And Star Wars changed all that. It was a dirty, lived-in world.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing of it.
It's fantastic.
What's kind of nice is that you open up, you go into the Rebel ship and it's all completely white.
Mm.
And then you have that massive, well not massive, but you've got that little shoot-off between the Rebels and the Stormtroopers, and it's just great. At this point you have no idea what's going on.
No.
But it's just because they've thrown that in your face and you're just like, Jesus.
Yeah, I always like that. Being put right into the middle of the action. Even though there's the crawl, which sort of gives you a bit of context, but they never give you too much.
But it's up to the audience to start working it out.
Yeah.
It isn't just thrown at me going, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. It's all thrown in there, and then we meet C-3PO and R2-D2.
Yeah, iconic.
And Princess Leia.
And Princess Leia. Yeah, of course, she doesn't speak at this point. We just see her leaning over R2-D2 and doing something to him. We don't know what.
Set for stun!
Yeah, oh yeah. And we don't think we ever see that sort of blaster fire again, that square sort of fire.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It is quite weird, but...
But yeah, and they stun her.
And she's down, and it's just...
Yeah. So she's captured. So the Imperials have captured the rebel blockade runner, Princess Leia's ship, which of course we see in Rogue One.
And then you see C-3PO and R2-D2 get away with...
In the escape pod, with whatever Princess Leia has put inside.
Yeah, and you have...
Should we take a moment for... the casting of those? Anthony Daniels.
Anthony Daniels.
I've got his book. I haven't read it yet. He's written an autobiography about his time in Star Wars. I got it for Christmas.
Really?
I need to read that because it would be fascinating. And Kenny Baker, who played R2-D2, who was inside the costume. I think he died recently, actually. But
he did. They didn't get on very well.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Really? Is there tension there?
There was tension between...
Oh, I wonder why.
Because Kenny Baker never actually said anything.
Well, yeah.
And I don't know if it was a money thing, because...
fairness, probably,
Because Kenny Baker, obviously Anthony Daniels actually said lines, so he may have got paid extra because he
very distinctive voice. I'm sure he'll have got a whole load.
Yeah.
Whereas, Kenny Baker was sort of an operator, wasn't he, really?
But they were fun. But then Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher.
I mean...
She was 19, I think, when this came out. 18, 19.
We could go on for ages
Unbelievable.
and ages talking about Carrie Fisher and what she did. I mean, I know it's two men speaking about this right now, but Carrie Fisher, for female strong characters, was just... Princess Leia was fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like, just...
She took no... I'm trying to not do an AJ, but she took no from anyone. Do you know what I mean?
Literally, yeah.
Han Solo walks into the room. He's the most charismatic guy in the world. We've not encountered him yet, obviously, but she takes absolutely nothing from anyone. And when she's talking to Tarkin and even Darth Vader, the most terrifying man in the world, takes none of it.
No.
She sticks up for everything she believes in. It's very, very impressive.
Then we meet the man himself, Vader.
Oh, unbelievable.
And this is all still, I mean, how long is this set? It must be top 10 minutes.
Oh yeah,
if
that, because they're not even on Tatooine yet. So yeah, this is what an opening, what an intro.
You're meeting all of these characters straight away.
Just
after
amazing.
a dogfight. Well, not a dogfight, but
after this little bit of pursuit, tractor beam in. But yeah, you meet Vader. This colossal man who we know nothing about.
Do you remember your first thoughts of Vader?
Oh, it's so long ago. Oh God. So I had we've also talked about this, I had the black and gold VHS Star Wars, which was a gift from my parents, I think, or possibly my aunt, who's also very into it. And that was before The Phantom Menace came out, and I watched those. So I would have been 4 or 5, something like that, watching it. So I think it would have been blind terror.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, the thing that I really remember is probably his strength.
Yeah.
Because that always used to scare me. I was always like, my God, if he can just lift me off the ground, there's nothing I could do.
Yeah.
So he lifts up the rebel soldier in this, and obviously in the other films he lifts up other people as well, the Emperor, etc. But yeah, it's that, and the menace, and the voice, James Earl Jones.
It's the voice for me.
Is it?
Which got me straight away. I was
really?
Like, that's such a perfect casting for the voice.
Amazing.
And I think it just...
Quite amazing. I think I've heard this...
I never understood whether he was American or English or what it actually was. Because sometimes it would be very Brit, but then again, Carrie Fisher does exactly the same in this film.
Oh yeah, she does.
When she's speaking with Tarkin, when she's saying Alderaan about to be blown up, she goes bloody British. This weird British accent.
That also happens with Queen Amidala, of course, her mother. So yeah, maybe it's something in the royalty.
Yeah,
there's something about that when she has to.
But yeah, Vader
show her status.
Vader's just... I mean, obviously we don't know at this point, but after you watch the 6 films, you know how much is behind that character. But even when you're just in blind darkness of just the character coming on straight away, you know there's something there, even if it wasn't written at this point.
Yeah, no, there's absolutely something...
There's a mass volume to this character.
Yeah.
And then we go to... then we're in Tatooine, where
we are. We are. You know, I'll tell you the quick story about Dave Prowse, who plays Vader.
Oh, what?
The body.
That he's not allowed to...
He wasn't allowed to speak it. He did speak it on set, and he thought it would be his voice. But he's actually from the West Country of the UK, so he sort of talks like that.
Isn't David Prowse now banned from any stuff because he let slip that he was Luke's father?
It was something like that.
They banned him from everything.
Yeah, he really fell out with George Lucas. So is he not allowed to do conventions and stuff like that?
I don't think he's allowed to do
Or
anything.
celebration. Oh, no. God. And that's how a lot of these actors make a huge amount of money, as I know, obviously.
Comic-Con, Star Wars Celebration, all these things are massive now.
Yeah, it's a whole new career.
Like YouTube streams it as well now.
Yeah. They're huge.
I watched the last Star Wars Celebration and it was just like, so many people watching it.
Yeah, it's Woodstock, isn't it, really? It's just quite amazing.
And then...
Yeah, but he had a big falling out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can just imagine that West Country accent saying some of his lines.
There is raw footage of him just saying it, which is just...
Oh, my God.
You understand why George Lucas went, nah.
Yeah, absolutely. I might get James Earl Jones to do this. Really? Wow. Shocker.
Yeah.
We should definitely record that, actually. That would be a nice little scene. Okay, there you go. Watch that space.
And then we go to Tatooine. And
we do.
Where, again, in the space of a very short period, we meet the Jawas, we meet Luke, we meet Uncle Owen and Aunt Peru.
We do.
And then we meet Old Ben.
Old Ben.
And this whole sequence... There is one line that does annoy me.
Oh, go on.
And So, I mean, it's after we've met Luke, we've got to know his character a little bit, but it's when they find the Jawa transport.
Yeah,
which has
Sandcrawler.
been, it's been destroyed. And then Luke comes back after finding his parents his uncle and aunt burnt to a crisp. And he just says to Obi-Wan straight away, I want to become a Jedi like you. And gone to Mos Eisley. It's like, all right, you've just been through a bit of grief.
It's true.
I'm not going to lie. I don't think the character would say that. But then again, it is Luke Skywalker.
I do I always read that as he wants revenge. Yeah. I want to go with you.
That's true.
And become a Jedi.
Well, he was going to join. I mean, so if we go back a bit to where we actually meet Luke, and some of the scenes that were cut out, sorry, he speaks about that he wants to join the academy.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's the Imperial Academy.
The Imperial Academy, yeah. Well, and Han Solo was in the Imperial Academy. That was like the standard route. And of course, you're talking about the Biggs Dark Knight.
Biggs, yeah.
So Biggs was at the academy and has jumped ship and joined the rebellion.
Yeah.
And they meet at Toshi Station or Anchorhead or something like that.
To pick up some power converters!
Yes, okay. We know what you're up to, Luke. We know what you're all about.
And,
There's a lot of world building in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, this film moves so fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of it moves so fast.
But it's so economical,
And meeting Ben Kenobi.
Yeah, let's talk about Alec Guinness then.
Well, how many wigs did that man wear? He wore a few.
Ridiculous.
I won't lie. There's a brilliant little... On Revenge of the Sith, they did little episodes on different characters. There's one of Ewan McGregor when he's talking about how he got into the character because his character in Revenge of the Sith is getting closer to Alec Guinness.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, but Ewan McGregor doesn't age, unfortunately. Yeah. They didn't realise that when they cast him. Come on, Ewan!
But they put pictures of... loads of different pictures of Alec Guinness. And it's just his wig changing.
Oh!
And his hairline suddenly goes down and his hairline goes up.
Right.
And it's amazing.
How amazing. You see, in my head, I've seen Alec Guinness in a few things, but I saw Star Wars when I was really, really young, so my image of Alec Guinness is Obi-Wan, through and through. Or Ben, as he was back then, of course. We knew he was Obi-Wan, but he wasn't really.
He was in Bridge over the River Kwai as well.
Yeah, some big stuff.
But he hated this.
Well, what do you think about that?
I can kind of see where he's coming from. He was a classically trained actor.
Yeah.
Had done, a lot of Shakespeare, a lot of classic works, and Bridge over the River Kwai, which, won tons of awards and stuff like that. And then cast in something with this new director called George Lucas that had only done, one film before this?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the film, but Harrison Ford was in it. But
it was isn't it THX 1138? Isn't it that one? Because he always references it in all of his films. Or that was one of them anyway. No, it wasn't that one. But I'm going to look it up actually. Carry on.
He had a as an actor like that, and obviously he was in his 60s, so.
Oh yeah.
He would have thought, well, this is just.
Do you think he just thought of it as just a job?
I mean, when you think about
Something to knock out.
I'm quite surprised that he took the role.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm quite surprised.
I wonder how long he was... Well, on this, I suppose, he was filming for a while.
Yeah.
Because you could imagine in the Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, he could knock it out in an afternoon.
Well, yeah,
because he's in a scene or two.
He had to go to Tunisia to film
most
of the stuff.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
But, I mean...
But yeah.
Obviously, he found out after it came out how big it was.
And of course, he negotiated merchandise percentage rather than a big fee up front, which is just... I mean, he could never have known how much... I mean, they're very famous for it now, the Star Wars films, and they're sort of designed around the merchandise. I think George Lucas took a reduced director's fee as well to do it.
Well, a lot of it, the Directors Guild were terrible to George Lucas.
Well, he's had a lot of issues with them, hasn't he?
And they kicked him out during Empire.
Yeah.
And he had to bloody remortgage his house and stuff to make
do
the
it
Empire Strikes
and fund
Back.
it all himself. So there would, amazing.
How are the Directors Guild kicking him? He's just made
American Graffiti.
American
there
Graffiti.
We go.
American
the internet
Graffiti.
here is appalling. Sorry, not the Regent Theatre, but Stoke in general. But so he had all that trouble. I think Spielberg was going to do one of the Star Wars films, Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. No, it's a Sith. But he couldn't do it because he was still in the Directors Guild and he wanted to stay with them. And Lucas had all these issues. But I've heard conflicting things about the Alec Guinness not liking the films. I feel like he had issues with people But he had issues that they were such a huge thing that everyone was obsessed with them, and that was all that people sort of and like kids came up to him and asked him for. Or I don't know what. There was a quote actually that he said. He was talking about kids coming up and saying that and asking him questions about Obi-Wan, and him responding and saying, "Oh, you should be, going out into the real world and seeing these real life heroes and not being obsessed with this." I think maybe he didn't like the obsession of it.
I can understand. There'd never been a film like that before.
Well, oh, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
It had a very different. It was very much like if the Beatles, made a film.
Yeah.
That's the response.
Yeah.
That Star Wars got.
Oh, it was absolutely off the charts. Yeah.
And then we take a little trip to Mos Eisley.
Yeah. Again, dirty
fun.
world building.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Actually, scum and villainy.
Yeah.
And
we've been introduced to the Force.
Yeah.
And Luke's lightsaber.
Yeah. I always remember watching the film, never really being interested in those things.
Oh, really?
Point. Yeah.
I was fascinated by them.
I think it was more the world building that I was interested in.
Right.
And the lightsabers kind of came into it a little later.
Yeah. Well, they don't do much at this point, do they?
No.
Not until Empire.
The Force is kind of like... I mean, it isn't until... I don't know, actually. I have to think about it. But we meet Han Solo and Chewbacca.
Yeah. Two amazing characters.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford.
I mean...
Lovely story about him. He was working for Lucas as a carpenter, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he was an actor, but he also, that was his sort of sideline that kept the money ticking in, because he had a young family, I think. He was in his early 30s, and Lucas asked him in to read the opposing parts for auditions. And obviously, Harrison Ford goes into the room and you're going to hire Harrison Ford, but Lucas would never have known that at the time. He'd just think, oh, yeah, you're just a jobbing actor, fine, come in and do this. But, I mean, what a find.
And then he fixes it. I mean, the whole thing is just incredible.
Yeah.
He smashes everything he does.
He does. There's a lot of luck here for Lucas, don't you think? The people that he's got.
That's a good point, actually, yeah. Everything is lucky. It was very much right time.
Right time.
Everything was at all right moment.
Yeah.
And then, not even to mention, we haven't even mentioned about it, all the technical crew that he was working with.
Yeah.
Creating LucasArts and,
Yeah. And THX and all that.
Like the band of people he had working just on the miniatures.
Yeah.
And everyone was on the top of their game.
I used to love watching those shots of, the Death Star. It's a bit like Bigatures, really. It's the same as Lord of the Rings. Yeah. They would build these lovely, lovely things, and it would be the Death Star trench run. Obviously, we haven't got that. Yeah. But watching the cameras go through that, and the cameras being on these lovely, I don't know what you'd even call it, a sort of a floating harness that would take it through and be in the first person. And I never, ever questioned it.
Yeah.
Never did I looked at it and I was like, oh my God. It's when it becomes computer effects in the later films you start to question it, which is amazing.
But especially in these three films, you're just like,
it's actually happening. This is it. I've literally never ever questioned it.
And I think that literally is because they are using real things.
Yeah, and they've got enough detail in there. The artists are skilled enough, and the technicians are skilled enough with the camera operating that you don't question it.
And there's that lovely moment where the Millennium Falcon takes off from Mos Eisley and just turns and swoops, and you see it fly, and it's just... That was one of the things where I was just watching it going, that's incredible. How the hell have they done that?
Yeah. Practical effects.
Yeah.
I love it.
And
I really do.
And then it comes to just one of the coolest things, seeing the Death Star blow up a planet.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, Carrie Fisher is with Vader.
Yeah.
And then with Tarkin, Peter Cushing.
And this is the cool thing, is that Tarkin is in charge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Vader is not the top dog here.
Like, such an epic thing that Vader is just kind of overseeing and just kind of the right-hand man, whereas this is Tarkin's thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You kind of get a bit more of that in Rogue One. You kind of...
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've read the book.
Which one?
Tarkin.
No, I've not read it yet.
The book Tarkin, you get a lot of...
Oh, really?
Because he was originally working with the Republic.
Right, yeah, of course.
He was a general in the Republic, and then just...
He stuck with Palpatine, because obviously the Republic became the Empire.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. And he was the first Grand Moff.
Yeah.
It was a new position created for him.
Yeah, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of do see... I mean, I don't want to get into Thrawn or anything like that, but there is that kind of Thrawnish kind of vibe about him as well, and just that he just knows the game and knows how to play it. And you can tell that Palpatine is such a massive fan of him and needs him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, and then you see a planet get destroyed by the Death.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The ultimate terror. Really.
What?
It's it's a monstrous thing, isn't it? Really, and it's not something that you could ever even imagine. But the planet is reduced to stone and dust. All those people, as if 1,000 voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silent.
That's a beautiful line.
Yeah. Oh, it's lovely.
And then the Millennium Falcon just, comes out of light speed straight into an asteroid field of a planet.
And Han says, "We're in the right place. It's just the planet is not here."
Yeah, and it's just like,
imagine that. You can't even imagine.
Such a good story.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's huge
you
stuff.
do think, why has no one ever jumped on this before? Or...
Well, I suppose there were lots of influences that Lucas drew on. Like there was the Seven Samurai stuff, and there's
Samurai is a
he had a big interest in that and in that sort of Eastern culture.
Yeah.
But it was a huge departure. I mean, you read about the different drafts that he went through and things like that. But I mean, it's delightful that he ended up with this one, because when you read all the others, you can sort of pick the holes in it. And it's interesting as well that obviously George Lucas wrote the 3 prequels as well, and he wrote those. But the sequels to this, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, officially at least, he didn't write.
Yeah.
And he was very involved, and he was the producer on them, so he would have been really, really involved. Yeah. And he was known as a bit of a control freak, and I mean, for goodness sake, it's his world, so of course he's going to be.
Yeah.
But this film reads so very well. I know that the cast had an issue with it. Was it Harrison Ford? I call him Han Solo. Was it Harrison Ford who said, "You can write this stuff, George, but you can't say it." That sort of thing.
And they changed. Mark Hamill as well changed a lot of lines.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? That's come out recently, hasn't it?
They were just like, we're not going to say it.
Yeah. They have to say it in a different way.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But, as an actor, you do you respect, because you're the one that's saying it.
Yeah,
From a writer's point of view, it sounds good in your head, but when it's actually being said by the actors that are playing those characters, and they say, this doesn't make any sense. And for Lucas to go, okay, let's change it up then.
Yeah, which is great.
That's a brilliant thing.
Well, Lucas has admitted that he's not a great dialogue writer.
No.
So that just makes me wonder about the prequels and why he I don't know. I don't wonder why he struggled, because he's admitted he's not a good dialogue writer. But why didn't he get a script doctor in? Why didn't he get Carrie Fisher in, who worked as a script doctor?
Yeah.
And very, very successfully.
She's wrote tons of books as well.
Yeah, I just don't understand it. Oh well, I suppose we'll get onto that another time. But this film works extremely well.
I mean, this film is just perfection
as a collaboration.
We've just watched a planet get destroyed, and then the Millennium Falcon comes out into an asteroid field, and then they see a random TIE fighter.
Yeah.
And so straight away you're just like, well, what?
Yeah, what's going on here?
What's going on? And then one of the best lines in any movie history.
Go on.
That's no moon. That's a space station.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too big to be a space station. Amazing. So even in this world, it's broken the rules.
I got the line wrong.
I did. I know you did, but
that's no moon. It's a space station.
I thought I would let that go. If Pryor was here...
I know, but people that are going to listen to this know Star Wars as well, and I did not want to let you down or let myself down.
Yeah, good for you.
So, there we go. Okay, here's a question.
Go on.
Han or Han?
Han.
Yeah.
It's definitely Han, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had to think about that, but Han Solo. Yeah, and of course we all know who breaks that rule.
Who?
Han!
Yeah.
There's still a chance to save Han! Hey, Billy D, watch the first film, how about that? But no, we love Billy D.
And and this amazing section where they're in the Death Star.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have the big showdown.
Well, Obi-Wan and Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So Obi-Wan's character is really interesting here. And Obi-Wan has got real Gandalf vibes, don't you think?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And of course the books of Lord of the Rings, which I love talking about.
Yes, you do.
They've been out for a long time. Obviously the films are far in the distance.
Yeah.
When was Ralph Bakshi's animated Lord of the Rings? I feel like it was 1981.
I thought it was the 70s.
Right, something else to look up on the slow Wi-Fi, because imagine if that had influenced it in any way. Just to bring Gandalf into...
I feel like it's 74 or 75.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm going to say
Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to look it up. But he's got such strong Gandalf vibes, don't you think? He's calm, he's measured.
Think he took an inspiration from...
Surely, there must be something in there.
Maybe I don't know. But I mean, the way that he speaks is with such wisdom.
Yeah.
And
we're both wrong. It came out the year after Star Wars. It came out in 1978. How amazing is that?
Said it was 70s though, didn't I?
You did.
Bada bing, bada boom.
But
there we go.
I think technically I was closer.
Thank you, listeners. I did say it was in the 70s.
You did say that.
But yeah, and the line, if you strike me down, I become more powerful than you could ever imagine.
Yeah. It all references bigger stuff.
It does, and that's what Lucas has done so perfectly, is that he's left A New Hope as a very close, incredible film, but with every character there's open spaces to go anywhere.
That's true.
And that's what's so clever about it. And that's why it's still going now.
Yeah.
And
he leaves room for interpretation.
Yeah. And then, now I think about it, I don't know because Obi-Wan obviously hasn't come out yet, but I think he realises that he now knows how to, he's going to turn into a Force ghost.
Yeah, of course.
With the Force and
the first one, really, because Qui-Gon has done it, but Qui-Gon, at this point, well, as far as we know, unless the series goes against this, Qui-Gon is not a, corporeal Force ghost. He doesn't become a blue ghost. He is just a voice that Yoda has heard and tells Obi-Wan about.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right, which is amazing, revolutionary stuff.
Yeah, and that's kind. I mean, I didn't think that as a kid, but obviously reading up on the stuff and watching certain things, like, okay, well, he knows.
Well, yeah,
he knows he's going to become more powerful, and he knows as well that Luke has to take this trip now on his own and move on to the next thing and stuff, which...
It's great that Lucas leaves that space for them to breathe. Because obviously Obi-Wan, although he speaks to Luke on the Death Star trench run later in the film, it's not explained how it's happening or that he's become one with the Force. It's just that the Force is this thing that gives them power, but it's not defined power, which of course he does define later in the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, and you see him in Empire as well as a Force ghost, which kind of shows...
Suddenly he's back, which is tremendous.
Shows his work, and then they manage to escape
the Death Star.
The Death Star and the Millennium Falcon after taking down the tractor beam, which is, is all part of the plan of Vader and Tarkin. Yeah. Which I always thought was just a great little thing because obviously
they were tracking them to the base. Yeah. And it makes a lot of sense.
They didn't want to kill them.
No.
When Han does that massive run.
Yeah.
Chases them and then walks out to tons of them, and then they chase him and they never kill him. I always thought, how is that possible?
Yeah, the Stormtroopers infamously bad shots, of course.
But then you realise, oh, okay, this is all a plan.
Yeah.
So they can get to the Rebel base.
So that scene, obviously, is different in the special edition and the...
Exactly,
So which one do you prefer?
I have no problem with the special edition, really, at that point.
Right.
And obviously, Jabba...
Could we take a moment?
Jabba.
Was that actually a mistake?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I thought I was about to have a go at you with the pronunciation again.
No.
Jabba the Hat.
Jabba. Obviously that was done. Originally that was just played by a man.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing.
I never saw until much later.
Yeah. I don't think I did either. I can't remember.
Obviously the ones that we watched were probably the ones where Mos Eisley wasn't messed around with or anything like that.
I think that's true. I think I saw the original special edition, which didn't have CG Jabba. Yeah. But did it have man Jabba? I don't know.
I don't think it did.
Did it not?
I don't think it did. No.
I mean, the CG is very bad.
Oh, it's god-awful. But that's prequel CG going into...
the way that they move Han up over his tail.
He just does that little kind of awkward walk.
That's not how people do that.
Yeah. And I always thought, why is Jabba in so much pain? He's very light. He's a very light man. And
that's true. He's a great, space slug.
What's that about?
Yeah, that was a weird one. But... That whole thing, but that whole interaction sets up Han's character beautifully, and he's a scoundrel on the end of on the run from the law, etc. He lives between the lines. He's very much a grey character, always the most interesting characters, must be said.
Yeah, they're always...
Something the prequels were missing. Who was the grey character?
I mean, Qui-Gon Jinn was very grey.
Yeah, he was a great character. But then he died.
But he died.
So who was it in
Um,
episode 2?
Oh, I don't really want to talk about episode 2.
We're going to have to at some point.
Oh,
There's still bits of it that I really like.
that'd be a fun one.
Uh,
I mean, Battle of Geonosis I do enjoy.
yeah,
but-
I like Ewan versus Django. Django.
Oh, yeah, the Django.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a deleted scene.
that one's
Him and
not
Jamie
bad.
Foxx.
I don't know who the grey character is
Yeah,
really.
but I think that maybe is something
I
that's
mean, I
missing.
suppose it's Anakin.
Yeah, but it can't really be a Jedi, can it?
I know, but I mean, we are following Anakin's story, and he is doing good in that film, but he also does bad.
But I mean, Han never
women
slaughters religious people, so it's...
I mean, but Han has done bad things.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
done some awful things.
But we don't know about them at this point.
Yeah. I mean...
What?
No, I'm about to go into the lines of Attack of the Clones. Let's not do
No,
that.
let's not do
anyway,
that. We haven't got time for
We've left.
Yeah, where are we?
We've left the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, yeah.
It now goes to Yavin.
Yavin 4.
The Yavin 4.
The moon of Yavin, absolutely.
Which is beautiful. It's a lovely, lush
Lovely.
forest place.
It's great. I love the speed camera guy.
Speed camera guy. Just...
Oh, a bit fast, mate. Hands get a ticket.
Shit. Right, I'm going to have to have a word with them later.
Yeah.
Oi!
Is there a ladder on that thing?
No!
How does he get up there?
No idea!
Are they lifting him up every time? This it's
I don't know.
100 foot tall or something above the treetop.
Either that or he's just climbing up a pole to get to the
Absolutely
top.
mental.
With this, as Family Guy do it, with just where he points it at the ship and goes, pew 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 pew. Gotcha.
Oh, Blue Harvest.
Which I
So
love.
good.
Oh, we're going to have to do Blue Harvest one day.
We probably should
That'd be
actually,
great.
yeah. Because some of it is just brilliant.
But yeah, we go to Yavin,
Where the rebels all are.
and they've managed to keep the Death Star plans.
They have. They've done very well with that. They're in R2.
Yeah.
There's R2 unit. The help. Oh, okay. Here's another pronunciation thing. With the help of Princess Leia.
Yeah, Leia.
What the bloody hell's that?
Oh, God. I
Isn't
didn't
that
love
General
bit.
Dodonna?
What is it?
Is that General Dodonna? I can't
What is the
remember.
line where they're sitting down in that briefing,
Yeah.
and then they're talking about the trench run, and one of the
Oh,
pilots says a
yeah.
line, and Luke just slaps
flips
him in the face.
Unbelievable. That's in Blue Harvest as well,
Yeah.
isn't it?
He's
Yeah,
like,
what does he say?
Oh man,
Whoa. They're talking about the exhaust port being
Yeah.
2 meters wide.
yeah,
That's impossible! Even at 2 meters, or whatever it
Yeah.
is he says. Yeah. That's
then-
not impossible. I used to bullseye womp rats in my T16 back home.
yeah, and the other guy's like, "F***ing it."
Oh, for goodness.
Oh, I f***ed it.
Oh, right. But yeah, I mean, it's great. It's great. But yeah, they're in the Musashi Temple.
Yeah.
You know about that?
I don't really know the full history of it.
Okay,
I
so
suppose.
I used to play a game called Star Wars Galaxies. Wonderful game. It's
I
another.
played a bit of Star Wars Galaxy.
Have you actually?
before, yeah.
Oh wow! Well, you know, there's actually a Legends server at the moment where they've recreated the game because Sony used to run it and they shut it down in 2011 or something like
Ages
that.
ago, yeah.
But yeah, people have kept it going because it's such a cool game, and it used to have all of the big planets from the prequels and from the original trilogy, and Yavin was one of them. And you could go in the Musashi Temple, and the Musashi were the local species
Yeah.
who had built this temple, and then the rebels just turfed them out and took it over, essentially.
Nice.
But yeah, big, awesome, massive structure.
It's a beautiful, I mean, and you get to fight on it on Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh yeah, of course.
Star Wars Battlefront 2?
I think it is, isn't it?
Not the new, not the
No,
new.
the old- the
We're not
classic.
going to talk about the two new games. Talk about the actual good ones.
Yeah, the
Um,
classic.
But yeah,
Makes us very upset
you get
still.
to fight on it. I hate what they did.
Oh, it's dreadful. It
It's
did change the world though, because no one does that anymore. Because
Yeah.
there was such a backlash. It was EA, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Such a backlash for the
They
loot box
destroyed
thing.
everything.
And madness. It was what were they thinking? You know, they thought they'd get away with it.
But we're at Yavin, and I suppose this is
Yavin.
where we get to our big third and final act.
So the rebel briefing against the Death Star run, you sort of get the feeling of how small the rebels are.
The rebellion is.
Yeah. And again, isn't it funny, and this keeps on occurring to me as we talk about it, how different the prequels are, but how similar the sequels are. Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah, I mean, but that's all George Lucas. That's because of George Lucas.
Well, because he wasn't involved in the sequels, you mean?
No, I think it's because in the prequels he knew that he didn't want to do anything he's done before.
Yeah.
But still wanted slight mirror imaging,
Okay,
which
yeah.
I think is why at the end of the Phantom Menace,
Yeah.
Anakin destroys one of
The Trade Federation's ship. Yeah, of course.
ships that he destroys it just like Luke
Yeah.
destroys the ship. He just
I see.
mirrors. Whereas JJ doesn't mirror.
Yeah. No.
He just
He sort of lifts it.
takes the script and changes the characters' names and does it again.
Yeah.
Which
which is tricky, isn't it? Personally, I think it worked really well in The Force Awakens. It's a little bit on the nose, but it did lose it.
There was some, but then you had, Finn is such a good character, such a clever original character, which I love.
Yeah.
And
Oscar Isaac. But yeah, we'll talk about that another time.
So we're getting ready for this.
We are
this battle, and
I think George Lucas said that he wanted the films to rhyme.
Yeah.
Was that about this? That quote that he wanted it to rhyme. They're supposed to rhyme.
He wanted the trilogy He wanted the originals and the prequels to rhyme.
Yeah, that word specifically rhyme, which I love. I think that's such a nice way of describing it.
The only moments where they don't rhyme is in Return of the Jedi, where Luke is attacking Vader and he stops.
Yeah.
Whereas Anakin is watching Mace Windu and Palpatine, and he joins in.
Yeah.
And kills
He gets involved.
That's where the line breaks.
Yeah, there were some really good things recently actually which came out which showed the mirrors between the two, which I hadn't noticed before. And obviously, when you think about it, you think, oh yeah, my god, that's actually really clever. I like Revenge of the Sith full stop as a film. I think it's very good.
I mean,
it's got its issues, but
it's my favourite.
Of all of them?
It's my favourite Star Wars film, yeah.
Of all of the Star Wars films?
I adore Revenge of the Sith. I think you see that it's the story that George Lucas always wanted to tell.
Yeah.
And it is the pinnacle of all of the films. It's that moment.
Your favourite of all of the films?
That film is literally the breaking point of this whole saga.
I absolutely agree, but
it's Anakin, whether he killed Mace or not.
Yeah.
Then all of those films would never have been made.
Let me talk just for a moment about the slight issues in the film.
Oh, there are some. Yeah, there's some terrible script issues and stuff like that.
But despite all that,
if you're gonna have a go at Hayden.
No, I think Hayden is decent in that film.
Oscar-nominated actor.
I know.
Until he joined Star Wars.
I know, and he's only just come out of the shadows, hasn't he? Bless him.
Oh, poor guy.
No, I do not blame him at all. It was very difficult.
So let's get to this at the end.
No, we must because we're in the briefing. Right, back to the.
We're almost there now with the big moment, and so they finish the briefing.
Yeah.
And then Han says he's off.
Yeah.
He's not going to be a part of this jam.
The grey character is great.
Yeah, exactly. And, Luke is so up for it.
Yeah, and he's upset that Han is going.
One of my favourite characters, Wedge.
Wedge Antilles.
Wedge Antilles.
Wedge's got a different voice in this, though. It's not Dennis Lawson, which I always find amazing. He's got it's voice. It's dubbed. It's not Dennis Lawson.
But Dennis Lawson, the uncle of Ewan McGregor.
Famously, yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But, yeah, and Han goes, and you're just like, wow. Okay. Yeah. This isn't like a normal, good guy, bad guy film.
No.
Like, he doesn't want to be a part of this, and Leia really, hates him for it.
Well, yeah, but it's actually Luke who really has a go. What does he say? He says, take care of yourself, Han. I guess that's what you're best at. It's like, okay, all right. And then, isn't Leia more like, he's a scumbag, that's what he's going to do.
Oh, that's true.
She's got that sort of vibe to her. Because she's not fallen in love with Harrison Ford yet. Give her time. We all do.
Well, behind the scenes,
yes.
She was
fine.
She was making the love.
Yes.
To the Harrison Ford.
Do you blame her?
No.
Look at the state of it.
I can't blame Harrison Ford.
No, look at the state of her.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Both of them have a great state.
They do.
We enjoy their states.
We do. In this film and others. Very much.
We enjoy their states.
Okay.
Noted. And so then we see those X-Wings go past Yavin.
Again, unbelievable to watch. Completely believable.
Oh, and each of them have got their droids.
Yeah, I love that.
Popped in the top.
I love the companionship of that.
That's a lovely moment that they work together.
Yeah.
It isn't just...
It's great. X-Wings and Y-Wings as well. Because the Y-Wings are supposed to do the bombing run, right? It's not the X-Wings.
The Y-Wings are the bombers.
Y-Wings are the bombers, and they're there, and the escorts are there. The X-Wings are there to escort them.
Yeah.
And take on the fighters.
Yeah.
But there's like 30 of them.
The Y-Wings are the ones that go in the trench first.
Yeah. And then they all get destroyed. That's Gold Squadron, I think.
It's that moment where they... almost... it's where that little turn of the X-Wings.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know which scene I mean?
I know exactly which scene.
So they haven't started fighting yet. They're just above the Death Star.
Yeah.
And they turn, and then the music changes.
Yeah.
And suddenly, bang, you've got all the cannons firing at them. You've got all the X-Wings just
big tension
going
stuff.
Crazy. And at the same time, you're jumping inside the Death Star.
Yeah.
And then you're jumping back to Yavin. and then you're jumping again back to the Death Star and seeing the planet slowly move away so they can have a clean
graphic.
shot.
And that computer which is talking.
Yeah.
It's great. Whoever did that voice.
And it's
wonderful.
great, and even at that, for some reason, C-3PO is like a massive character with Leia at that point, where they're just like leaning around the desk.
Do you remember the... I'm skipping ahead slightly. Do you remember when R2 gets shot? And do you remember the noise that C-3PO makes? It's not a voice... It's not a vocalised thing, but he goes... It's like that. It's like his stomach is just gone.
Yeah.
Which, it's amazing.
And you hear that massive... Wow!
What the hell is that?
That's R2.
Oh, right, yeah. I was thinking, where is that?
That's not C-3PO.
Yeah. I always thought it looked like blood, when he got shot.
Yeah.
Like, there's some red stuff on him. Maybe
I know what you mean.
Well, it's not rust, obviously, but like some blaster... Oh, it's blaster scoring is what they call it in all the books, I think.
But if we're talking... Before we get to the trench run...
Yeah, go on.
We got to talk about the man himself.
Who?
Porkins.
Oh, poor old Porkins.
Why name a character?
Of course he was going to be a big boy. Think about his parents. Mother and Father Porkins. Change your name!
I'm sorry, we've got to be fat. Because our second name is Porkins.
Just de-poll it to Slimkins or something
Can
like
we just
that.
not eat pork? What are you talking about? We're called Porkins!
In this family, we eat pork.
And do you know what? We're going to be part of a Rebel Alliance. And we're... just burnt myself on the heater there.
Nah, that's tough.
We're going to be part of the Rebel Alliance and, we're not going to change our name.
No.
No, of course we're not. Everyone's still going to call us Porkins.
Yeah.
And then obviously Porkins dies.
It's a real shame. I mean, they all die. Let's talk about Red Leader as well. Red Leader as well, who when he talks to Luke, it's just like, yeah, you want fights? Yeah, go on. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Oh, you've flown T-16s, those things that don't go into space. Yeah. Go on, hop in. Completely different. Yeah. Probably be alright.
You're fine. You're fine.
It's made by the same company, Incom, T-16 and T-65, which is the X-Wing. But is it the same? I mean, who knows?
No, it's made by the same company. It probably has the same controls. The only difference is you're in space.
Yeah. So,
is that a big difference?
Gravity, does that make any odds? Nah, probably not.
It doesn't.
Yeah, you'll be alright.
Or
Oh,
fly.
Biggs has said you're alright. Great. Biggs going to survive? Probably not.
Yeah, Biggs has said you're very good.
Yeah.
And, I've never met you before in my life.
Yeah.
Never. Never. And I'm not going to lie, Luke, this is a pretty big thing we're doing here.
And we haven't got many fighters.
Yeah, it's very life or death situation. The
I'm not going to stop you.
The rebellion can be destroyed.
Yeah. You could be Red 5 as well. It's pretty,
Go on. Get in. Get in your X-Wing. You want that droid that you've met for half an hour?
You're going to bring him?
Go on.
You don't want one of ours that we've got
that's
all tuned in for the actual combat? Nah, have yours. Yeah, it'll probably be alright.
Do it.
But that's what this film's all about. It's about the little man succeeding.
But yeah, so Porkins dies.
Yeah.
And then, the bombers never make it.
No.
And
Red Leader has got a great death.
yeah.
He's got a big scream as he dies.
Yeah, he does that.
Yeah. Which I think is great.
And then you hear the kind of the engine kind of as it goes down.
As he goes in.
And then that's the moment.
Luke's
that's
face.
And the music changes
The
at that
music
point.
changes,
And then
absolutely. I
That's
remember
when
that
Luke
so
knows
clearly.
this is it then.
It's down to me.
I have to do it.
So who's left? Luke, Biggs, and Wedge. And then Wedge goes because Luke's like, get out of here, you can't make it.
Yeah, which
Luke is suddenly in charge. Why is Biggs in charge?
I do find that weird that Biggs... is it Wedge? No, is it Wedge that goes?
Wedge goes.
Yeah,
Biggs
Wedge
dies.
goes. Yeah, Biggs dies.
Yeah, Wedge goes, sorry! And off he goes.
And then it's just...
No,
and then it's
don't
just
worry
him.
about it.
And then we've got another amazing moment as well. Vader is back there, him and 2 TIE fighters, and he's flying.
Yeah.
This is where you find out that he's a fantastic pilot
Unbelievable
as well.
with his special TIE fighter. It's amazing that the big boss gets involved in the fight.
Yeah.
But Vader has a long sort of history of doing that, obviously being a Jedi in the Clone Wars and, being the one of only 2 Sith Lords.
But I do love that they because earlier in the film it is mentioned that is it mentioned he's a great pilot? It may not be actually, now I think about it.
No, Obi-Wan says, your father was already a great pilot. Oh no, that's in the second film.
Yeah. It's mentioned that he's a great warrior.
It's mentioned that he is a pilot, but they think he's just a smuggler, a spice pilot. Is it mentioned? I can't remember.
I can't remember now. I'm sure people will comment though.
Yeah, no, do. Because, the one I'm thinking of is in The Empire... is in Return of the Jedi, actually, when you know that it's Vader.
Yeah.
But yeah, we know that Vader is an excellent pilot because Anakin was an unbelievable pilot.
Yeah.
And he's got his special TIE. And there's only 3 of them, and they take out everyone.
Yeah. other than Luke. And then Luke takes his...
Does Vader kill Biggs? He does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And I tell you what I love is the sound of the targeting machine on Vader's... because he's in a bomber. He's flying a bomber.
Well,
He's
I think
flying-
it looks like a TIE bomber, but I don't think it actually is.
Okay.
Because the TIE bombers have got the central eye thing, and it's
And
got
then they've got
another one
another
left to
one.
it. But Vader's only got one.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
It may just be
So it's got the
special.
same wings, but
Yeah.
it's a TIE Advanced. I
But
think
it's that
called. a TIE
targeter that
Special.
goes...
Yeah.
And he just fires it. It's just like, oh. And then Luke takes his target machine off.
Yeah.
And
Well, he has to go with it on, doesn't he?
yeah. And it just-
Negative. Negative.
Negative.
It didn't go in. Nightmare situation for any young man.
But then, then he takes his targeter off.
Yeah.
The planet is almost... the planet is in
It's
range
in
now.
range, and they've started the...
Yeah, and that's all kicking
Powering
off.
up.
You see that little, shot of Leia,
Yeah.
knowing that, oh,
It's-
God.
Yeah, we've had it, pretty much. There's
And
no
then
one left.
suddenly, you just hear this, fire, this gunfire. Well, not gunfire,
Yeah.
but...
Takes out one of the ties.
And then you hear this, yeah! And, the scream and
So good.
And Han's there.
Of course he's there. But I don't always forget now, because obviously I know the films, but initially I would forget that he was coming. It's the same thing as we were talking about Gandalf on the bridge of Casa Dum. You hope that it changes.
Yeah.
It never occurred to me that it would change with this. It's the opposite. And then when he comes, you're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
the Falcon is here. The Falcon.
Exactly.
Oh, so good.
And then he says that fantastic line, if
Go
you'd
on.
like to do it.
You're all clear, kid. Let's blow this thing and go home. It's great.
And then Luke fires and takes that breath,
Yeah.
which I think is fantastic, actually.
Just after it's dived into the exhaust port.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question.
Go
Why
on.
does it get sucked into an exhaust port and not pushed out? Exhaust push things out. It's not an air intake. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Isn't that weird?
Let's not...
George
focus-
Lucas, if you're listening, could you
Let's not focus on that.
put... I don't know, I just always wondered. Unless it's a homing thing, but... I suppose
Maybe
it
there's
is,
some
but-
magnetic... magnetic shielding down there.
Why would shielding help?
Well, I'm sure there's some shielding down there
I'm
at
sure
some
there
point.
is.
But then again, what's his face from Rogue One set this all up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, but George Lucas didn't know about that at
Yeah,
this
he
point.
didn't
He
know
didn't know
about
about anything at this point. He was making it up
do
as he
you know
went
he
along.
wrote Rogue One at that point.
Oh, is that right? He
Yeah.
wrote Rogue One first, and he was like, I need to build a series to make this work. Otherwise it won't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm not going to show the actual big thing. I'm just going
Yeah.
to show a little lead up.
And I
But-
wonder, this awesome scene with
That's
a
a
big...
good point, actually.
I've always wondered that. I mean, I know... so it's a proton torpedo, so it's
Yeah.
locked on, and it's going to go in.
Maybe there's some electrons down there.
What, and the proton wants to meet the electrons.
It does, and form a
it's
nice
not
covalent
literally-
bond.
Oh, God.
Maybe that's what it does.
Do you do A-level physics?
Physics!
Oh, that's another reference. Physics. Physics. Physics.
Physics.
Physics.
Physics.
Do say if you know that
A
reference.
little tenant. Gave
Oh,
that
well
away.
done, mate.
Oh,
Brilliant.
they don't know. And if you can name the episode, go for it.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah, and then
Hannah's arrived. Amazing.
Hannah's arrived. The torpedo has gone down.
Yeah. And
They're
Vader
flying-
goes, can you remember the sound that he makes? I love this line from James L. Jones.
Which one?
When he looks up over his left shoulder, I think.
Oh, is the what the?
No, he just says, what? He goes, what?
Oh yeah. What? Yeah. And then Vader is off
Yeah.
flying around.
Lucky for Vader, he gets... A ship collides with him.
Yeah.
It's spun off.
Yeah, and he
Is
just,
that how these things
he
work?
just spins out.
Every other ship has been completely destroyed by just a laser fire.
Well, thank God that Bad Robot did a little bit where Vader phones up Palpatine
Oh, yeah.
and he said, "You're what? The Death Star? What? And you're just spinning in space?" And then he just start. I love Bad Robot where they just
it's
start
brilliant.
laughing.
Yeah, it's great though.
Yeah, and then bang,
Bang.
It's
Huge
done.
explosion. Tarkin's dead.
Tarkin's
The
dead.
big,
Yeah.
the big bad at this point, because Palpatine doesn't even exist at this
Yeah.
point. We
Well,
know
the
there's an-
Emperor is mentioned
He is, but at this point in the story...
because he's dissolved the Senate.
Oh, yeah, right.
So the Emperor is mentioned, but you I mean, you
I
have
think
no
the
idea.
Emperor is supposed to be like a puppet figure at this point, and it's
Well,
Tarkin
yeah.
and Vader who are in charge, and he
Yeah.
only becomes a bigger figure later on.
Yeah.
Because the Sith isn't a thing. Even the Darth title is not a
doesn't-
thing, it's his name.
Yeah.
It's completely different. But Tarkin is the big bad.
Yeah.
Dead.
And then
Evacuate!
And
A
bang.
moment of triumph! I think you'll overestimate their chances. What a miscalculation by Peter Cushing there. Goodness
and then
me.
we're at the fantastic ceremony.
Oh yeah,
They
Yavin
get
4 again.
awarded their medals at
Yeah.
Yavin 4.
Wonderful score.
Yeah, and amazingly, we've got all those rebel soldiers there. And
Do we?
90% of them are made of cardboard.
Amazing. Never noticed it.
Never
Until you know it.
Even when I know it sometimes, I'm like,
Is that one?
no,
or-
they just look normal.
It makes a lot of sense though, because I mean they're not going to hire. How many people are in that room?
Yeah, I mean, there's-
700 people.
Yeah,
They're not going to
it's
hire that number of people to come in.
And then
But it's great.
they
Chewie
get-
doesn't get his medal, of
I was
course.
literally about to say, Chewie doesn't get his medal.
Yeah.
But he does in Rise of Skywalker.
So that's good. Oh, I didn't like that. I really didn't like
I
that.
didn't like that.
I have to say that
was
really
pure fan service.
Oh,
It's had nothing to do with the plot line that's happening right now.
that rubbed me up the wrong way. I tell you that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in that film that rubbed me up the wrong way.
I think because that one was so unnecessary. I don't know. Oh, we can't go into that. There's too much to talk about in that film.
But there we go. It's
That's it.
and that's A New Hope.
That is A New Hope.
And that opened up everything. And that opened up.
You're happy with that? Are you?
What?
AJ and I have been debating how long it would take us to talk about this film, and you have, in fairness to you, piloted your way through very well. We haven't talked about the score.
I told you, I want to talk about the score after we finish the trilogy.
The whole thing.
After we finish the first trilogy, and
Goodness
then
me.
I want to say, because the score isn't just film by film; it goes on for the entire.
Oh, so yeah, the Skywalker theme and stuff like that.
It goes on for the
that's
entire
true.
trilogy.
Yeah.
And we all know our opinions on John Williams anyway, and how genius that man is.
Across the entire saga,
Yeah.
he's probably the one thing that doesn't skip a beat.
Yeah.
Every time, every
Yeah.
single theme is just absolutely stunning. But also, it's a departure, in the same way that Lord of the Rings was a departure in terms of Howard Shore's score from the electronic scores of fantasy. I think this is the same. Sci-fi was quite rock music-y, wasn't it? This is a very classical
what
score.
happened with that then?
What?
Rock music.
Oh, I don't know. I was kind of like, I can't think of the adjective. So I just thought I'd, colour it a bit.
Very rock heavy.
Rock heavy, yeah.
What's that for? Rock steady.
Rock steady? That's a studio, isn't it?
Rock
Steady
steady
Entertainment.
my dear.
Oh, okay, you're thinking of
That's
something
that's
else.
from something.
Oh, God.
What is that from? Anyway.
Anyway.
But there we go. A New Hope. A New Hope is done, and what an incredible film that is.
It is.
We got a few shout-outs because obviously we
go
did a
on.
little poll on Instagram, and we asked, what is your favourite Star Wars film? A lot of people just said, hi, 8 Days of Geek, which is
That's a great film.
nice.
That's one of my favourites.
Chuck Bacon, A New Hope. Still
There you go.
get emotional watching it. Fair enough. I mean,
Yeah.
it is...
It is a very emotional
It is
film.
the
I don't
actual-
meet many people whose favourite it is out of
Yeah.
all of them.
Everything in
likes
Middle
it.
Earth, our very good friends, Everything in
Yes,
Middle Earth,
lovely guy.
again said A New Hope,
Really?
which, so that's 2 for A New Hope.
Yeah.
Then Sabakun no Haku,
Why have you raised your voice?
I don't know, said 4, 5 and 6, so A New Hope is in
so
there.
the whole trilogy, fine.
So they just love the whole
They're
trilogy.
original trilogy fans, as are an awful lot of people.
You said a Revenge of the Apostrophe, but that was
I
just
did.
to get at me.
AJ's got a bit of a thing with
Yep, I
his
can't
grammar.
do it. Silver Music 28 said all of them, which is, I don't want to say it's a cop-out answer, but
All of the films.
it's great. Underscore Nimisha said Revenge of the Sith.
Ah.
Boom, bang, bang, there you go.
Wow, out of all the films, just like you.
Clarulin underscore Ka, I'm very good at this,
You are, aren't
said
you?
Empire Strikes Back,
But they're with me.
and Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, fine.
So,
Yeah. No,
this
my
is-
favourite of the originals and my favourite
Henry
of the...
Laws, hello Henry Laws, I
Prequels.
trained with you, said Empire.
Nice.
We have got some extra ones.
Go on.
Emir Masood said The Last Jedi.
Okay, tricky. It's getting more and more popular, though, in light of Rise of Skywalker. I know you have issues with it. I mean, in fairness, so do I.
And then Mackenzie Fletch said The Rise of Skywalker.
That's tough.
Mackenzie, that's nice.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
And you know what? At the end of the day, it is your opinion, and you do watch the films. And if you did love Rise of Skywalker, then go for it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all part of the
It's
same.
good. It's kept everything going.
Yeah, and I don't want to be part of that. I'm sure you don't as well, Chris. Of part of that Star Wars fan base, which hate other Star Wars fans for liking certain films.
No, of course.
Do you know what? You can like any film that you want. That's absolutely fine because each one of them has moments.
Yeah, of
at
course.
least, which are good.
Yeah, there were absolutely
And
moments
stuff.
in all of them.
But yeah, so thank you everyone for joining that poll. We will do a poll again.
Yeah.
For when we do The Empire Strikes Back.
We will. Final moments. Give me your favourite moment from A New Hope.
Favourite moment.
I know
from
it's
A New
big
Hope?
stuff. What would it be? What was the one that impacted you the most as a kid? Let's say when you watched it for the first time.
It's.
What do you think? It's tricky, isn't it?
I'm going to say the trench run.
Really?
Yeah.
The trench run.
Overall thing, either the trench run or seeing Luke's burning uncle and aunt.
Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen.
Yeah, because then that's when I
that
realised
is horrendous.
this is a bit heavy.
Yeah, it is. It's grown-up stuff, isn't it, really?
This is quite great.
And you see the skeletons.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
my
dark,
God.
man. It's dark.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
What about you?
Trench Run, I think, is unbelievable. Technologically, it's out of this world. That it was made in 1977, or before, actually, and it stands up to this day. And you look at it and you think, my God. So that is also up there for me. It's got to be something with Han and Chewie. It's got to be. Oh no, I'll tell you what it is. And it's actually quite a small moment, but it was such a surprise. It's in the Mos Eisley Cantina when that guy's starting on Luke, and then Obi-Wan says, now let me get you something. And then the guy kicks off and he just blams him away with his lightsaber.
Yeah.
I loved, because I'm really into the Jedi, and I'm really into the Force and the lightsabers and stuff like that. So seeing it in use was just fantastic. I love that. And also Obi-Wan, all out of nowhere, is not this frail old man.
Yeah.
He's suddenly the warrior again.
And he actually attacks someone.
Yeah. Oh
Cuts
my God.
off
He
their
cuts
arm.
off his arm.
And you see the arm.
Yeah. Again.
Covered in blood.
You see blood. Although, okay, that's a moment because the lightsabers cauterize wounds.
Yeah,
But
which doesn't-
George, if you're listening to this, tell us why.
Hey Chris,
What's up?
I don't like you. He doesn't like you either. You don't even know me.
I'll be careful. You'll be
Ladies and
dead!
gentlemen of the Bible Harry Story Comedy, this is your call to stage, this is your call to stage for vocal warm-up, this is your call to stage for vocal warm-up. Thank you!
Did you hear that? That's our cue, isn't it?
That's our cue. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We have been 8 Days of Geek. I'm AJ Jenks, and this is
Christopher Weeks.
Ain't got nothing but love, babe. 8 days of geek.